In this lesson, we're gonna see how we can work with templates and how we can study them, how we can start to play a little bit around with them. And the template will be of great help if you are a beginner in Photoshop to understand how everything works and how professional files can be made. So let's start by going here in the home page where I can see the most recent files that I worked with. And we already talked about formats and the importance of working with PSD, which is the source file. So when we can access all the layers, all the levels that we used to create the composition. So we can get into the compositing. And when we save JPEG, instead, we're going to have like a final result, but we cannot edit that too much, or we cannot edit as much as the layers. Now, there is also a difference between working with JPEG or JPG and PNG, and we're going to see an example of this also in this lesson. PNG essentially maintain the transparent background, so it means that you can more easily create photo montages and overlap images. So I want to start here with the template. How we can use template? We can just go, instead of opening directly an image, we can go to new file, and we already saw that we have like standard here for a photo, printing, web, mobile, and so on. So at the top, we usually have presets. We can also expand and see more presets. But if we scroll down more, we have templates. And templates, again, are really, really interesting in terms of how can I use Photoshop? What can I do with Photoshop in the web industry or mobile or film and video and so on. So what I want to use here in the print, you can see we have like business card or assets that you can use for packaging, marketing, advertising, and merchandising, and so on. So you have stickers and bottles and caps, purses, and so on. So when you find something that you like, let's go for like the mug here. You can see the preview, and you can see I can like move into more details. You can use the scroll bar, and if you like it, you can just download. Now you just need to wait for the connection, and there you go. So now it's downloading. Once it's ready, you can continue here if you like to download something else, like perhaps here a t-shirt. So these are like preset situation when you have like already a photo montage or the insertion of an image in a okay. So it's telling me that it's gonna take longer, but that's fine. So you can continue to select and download. So until it's downloading the previous one, it will not start with the other. But there you go. Once it's downloaded, you have this blue check, and then you can either double click here or you can click on the open button, and it's gonna open up. So if I double click, there you go. So this is actually a composition of two different parts. So, well, that's you see an example of how these um, can be done. You can have like two different sheets, and here, if I select this, we can see this bottom image. It has a background, and it has like different backgrounds that I can use or different colors. And if I go here, we can see there is a mug 2. So you need to like study how the different layers have been combined together. And where it says your image here, this is where you're supposed to put your image. So I'm gonna show you this later. Let me just close this and let's go. So you see here, these are the recent. But if I want to go back here, I can see the ones that I've already downloaded. So the other one is still downloading. There we go. So it's pretty big. This is the resolution, so you have all the information. Okay, now that it's ready, I can open it up and let's see how this is made. Okay, so now it's asking me for the color profile. I'm just gonna go with okay. I don't want to spend too much time in there. Now this is a little bit simpler, And again, you can place your design in here, so you can see your image here, and again, it's a composition of layers, so I can just play around here and see what happens if I change the various layers. So you see, if I turn off the background, I have this transparent part which is identified by this checkerboard, and if I turn on the background, I can see it. And so I can change the background anytime, or I can change the image on top of that. So depending on how the template was created, you have different situation. And during the course, you will learn how to handle all these different situations. Right now, I just want to keep it simple as I can. Now, before getting into this, I want to show you another feature that you may want to use or you may not, which is the browsing bridge. Now, bridge is another way we can check the content in our computer, in our folders, in our libraries, in our stocks that we downloaded, and pictures that we downloaded from Adobe stock. And we can also place in our work. So if, for example, I am now in Bridge, and if I go like into Essentials, we can see that I have here my folder where I'm storing all the assets that I'm creating with Photoshop. And this is another like example of packaging using bottles with another template. And here in Libraries, usually it's going to show you everything that is going on in your computer, and with another like interface, so you can have like a preview. And then you have other you know features here and commands, but essentially is a navigator. You can navigate, explore inside your computer, and then you have the information here, the metadata contained into an image. And here you have the parts where you can manage your libraries, and you can also do this inside Photoshop directly. But let's say that I want to use again, let's see here, this, well, just a simple image, just to make an example. Gonna use, well, I'm just gonna use this, all this. Okay, so if I want to use this, just double click, and you can see it's gonna open it up in Photoshop. So I can work with both Photoshop and Bridge. Now, the image was placed in another file, so it's in another window. Now, let's close this new window. And what if I want to bring it here up? You can always use like also drag and drop. Drag and drop works often in Photoshop. So if I click and drag, it's going to place it directly in my composition. Now be careful, because again, this is really important where you, let me just close Bridge now, where you place your image, where it's going to be in your layer system here, or layer hierarchy. So let me just make this bigger. So if I click and drag, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. And you see it's kind of doing something strange here. So let's say, okay, I want to keep it like this. Or again, you can do down here, you can do done. And there's the image. Now it's way smaller because it was scaled down. So I can see a little bit of pixels, but that's fine. It's going to be like smaller, so I can move it around. And I need to be careful where is right here. You can see it's here. It's called file copy. So if I click and drag this down, you can see that if I place it here, it's going to be like inside the t-shirt. So this is way more interesting. Now, if I click and drag here with the move, you can see it's moving this other part of the image, which we don't really want to do that. So again, you need to be careful how you work with layers. And we're going to explore the layers features later. Just want to show you here that depending on where you place this is going to have a different effect. And thanks to the transparency or PNG, we can have this photo montage. And also thanks to the mask, which is another really important part we're going to talk about later on. So right now, I just want to show you that you can work with templates, you can customize them, and it's really important where you place your image. So you can see now I have the logo on top here, so the image is not overlapping the logo, not overriding the logo. And the logo again can be visible like this because it has an alpha channel and it has like a transparency. It's only visible right here and not in the rest of the image. So we're gonna learn more about how to mm, delete part of the image or mask part of the image and so on. But right now, let's do some easy stuff. And what I want to show you here is this panel of the library. So libraries panel is also right here, and you can open up going into the window and looking for libraries. So you can see you can open it and close it also from here. So again, window, libraries, and here you can access, you can create a new library also from here, or you can access the existing ones. And you can also click and drag from here inside directly your image. And you can see this is too big. So I'm gonna scale it again like this, make it fit inside that other t-shirt right there. You can see it's overlapping again with that other one, but again, we're gonna learn how to manage the image more later. So you can see that you can really play a lot with templates and have fun. And you can use libraries, you can use pics from Adobe stock, so templates from Adobe stock, pics, and other stuff essentially. You can also browse the share library, so if people share libraries with you, or go here to the stock and marketplace directly from here. So it's a really handy feature. And then you have also here the cloud um, sign here, and it's telling us that all libraries are up to date. So everything is synchronized with your Creative Cloud account, and you can continue to bring in stuff either by opening from here with Bridge or using, as we saw before, place embedded, place linked, and also opening up new images and or dragging and dropping. So you have many ways you can bring in content inside Photoshop. Now, another really interesting panel I want to show you is the Navigator. Now, we talked in the previous lesson how we can navigate, and that is using Control, Alt, and the scroll wheel, using the spacebar to do the pan. But you can also use the buttons right here and the Navigator panel. Again, to open the Navigator panel, we go to Window, we go to Navigator, and there it is. Usually it's represented with this steering wheel of a ship, and you can also open it from here. But if it's not there, remember, you can always go to Window and open it up from here. Search it and Navigator. There we go. Now, I find this really handy when I have like complex design, complex composition, and I want to go like into detail. So I want to use this to zoom in and out, or click here, or click here to zoom really close, or a little bit further to 100%. And I can click directly in this little rectangle, and I can move around and see things in details. Now, if you want to uh, like work more in details, you just need to continue to zoom. And you can see how big this image is. I still cannot see like the pixels too much. So if I see the pixel, I need to zoom even more. So I can get lost with this level of zoom, but not with the Navigator. Navigator will help me to understand where I'm at here with this little frame. So this is representing essentially what I am framing here in the workspace. Really, really helpful. There you go. Okay, now that we know this other navigation tool, which is really handy, let's continue. And let's talk a little bit more about JPEG, PNG, and the alpha channel or the transparency that we have and that we can save. Now, also here you can share, clicking on this little button. So it's gonna save it in, well, I first need to save actually. So I'm gonna save this as lesson 03, and it's gonna be PSD again. So this is just saving the file, and now that it's saved, I can also share it. And if I create a link, everyone can, with the link, can use it and comment. So if I need like revision from my client or from a professor, or if I want to share it with the people of my team, and also I can just modify and then update, and be careful that the content is updated. And also here I can invite people to see, and that's basically it. So you can put it in the cloud and share it. And again, everything is kind of connected in the Creative Cloud. Now, let's see the difference between JPEG or PNG. So I want to take off some layers here. Let's take off like the background. So I'm just gonna keep here the t-shirts with the logo there, and yeah, the image. So I wanna just save this, and if I go to File and go Save As, again, it's gonna ask me to save the layers, so the source file with Photoshop or TIFF. So I can go here, and instead of doing this, also you can save to cloud right here. So I can go directly to save a copy. So when I save a copy, I can save in Photoshop, but I can also save in the other formats. So let's save first in JPEG, and I want to save it in another folder here. So I'm gonna save it in I'm gonna rename this actually. So I want to name this like photo montages. Okay, and let's call this JPEG. So with opaque background. So even though here I don't have a background, you can see when I save JPEG, it's gonna add a background, and it's gonna be like white. Now, if you go here, you can also change that background to something else that you have here. Okay. And by the way, we have some issues here to solve, but don't mind now. And just gonna use the background color, which is white. Okay. So now it's saved. Now, if I go again and save, so File, Save as Copy, and go back to Photo Montages and save now PNG, I'm gonna save this as a PNG without background, or we can call this transparent background, and save it. You can choose a large file, which is the fastest saving, medium, or smallest and slowest saving. So let's go for this. You can see down there you have the progress of the saving. So it's going to take a little bit longer, but probably it's going to be better in the quality. So PNG uses 4-channel. The 4th channel is called alpha channel, and that's the one that it's permitting to have a transparent background. That's the difference between the two. Now I'm going to close this. I'm not going to save it because I already saved it. And now if I open up directly the file, so I go directly in the folder that I called photo montages, you can see that this was the JPEG. So even though we have a transparent background, the JPEG turns the transparency into something visible, which is this white background, while the PNG maintains the transparent background. So right now I can see the background of the windows. So if I open up, let's say, a previous image that we used like this, and then I want to bring in that image. Now, um, I cannot access that image from here because I didn't store it in a library. So I can go directly here and just place it as embedded or linked. So let's go for linked this time. And I want to place both. So let's go for this. And you can see this as transparent background. If I bring in the other, it's not going to have transparent background. So it's more difficult to create the photo montage. With this, we already have everything done. With this other, we need to like delete again the background. So usually it's better to have PNG instead of JPEG because we have this extra feature. Now let's go back to Bridge. And again, you have a library here. You can create a new library. And this is my current library. So if I want to add this new image that I just created, let's go like in Essential here. So let's add like this one. So I'm just gonna click and drag it wherever my libraries are visible. So let's change here the interface to libraries. And then I want to click and drag this into this space. So it's gonna add it to my library. And again, then I can reuse it many times. Now be careful if you're saving a PSD or JPEG or PNG, because again, they're going to be different. PSD is going to have all the layers, PNG is going to have transparent background, JPEG is going to have like the nothing of that. So it's going to be like the simplest thing you can insert in the library. And let's finish up here with the Creative Cloud. So this is my space here, and you can see it's now synchronizing the libraries. So everything is synchronized, and you can see I already started to use my space here of archiving. And here again, you have all the Adobe stock and marketplace, so you can go for photos or layouts or templates and content that you can use. You can go to files, and again, we can see our libraries. So I can update this and see the templates, see my custom library where I can customize the template. I can see the shared files, my files that I can place in my folder, and so on. So you can manage everything also from here. You have tools also that you can use in Creative Cloud, and then of course you have all the apps, and we already saw this previously. So we're gonna stop here for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe to the channel, stay updated for more. If you want to thank us, support us, please join the channel as a supporter, and this will help us to create more videos like this. And check our other video guides and video courses in the channel about graphic design, 3D design, and many more. So thanks, and see you in the next lesson.